And we are live here on Tuesday, November 5th. So I'm just going to put on maybe some chill music here. Just real low. Hoping that you guys are having a good Tuesday. Just bringing some lightness to the world. And just hopping on here for a chat. I will be doing some collective Akashic messages. So come on in. We're live here. And just hopping on. All right. We're live here now on YouTube and Facebook here. So come on in. Hit that like button. I don't know if you are following me already. Hit that follow and subscribe. Just getting started for the day. Be on for about an hour, but we'll start off with a collective message here. Welcome. Come on in. Here, I put on some chill vibe music to help ease any tension we have going into November. End of year. We got a lot going on. Hit that like button. So, all right, I hit that pause button. All right, I'm going to start off with some collective messages. But before then, if you are new here, my name, and if you're watching this live or kind of back on the replay, my name is Jenna. I'm a psychic medium. I tap into the Akashic realm. I work with Akashic Enlightenment, your Akashic Records, the Book of Truth, channeling for just higher knowledge, and do a lot of other things. I have a lot of fun events coming up. I actually have a free event coming up next Tuesday at 12 Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, a free manifesting event. So I will add that free manifesting event. So feel free to go check out my website. It is myawakeningwithin.com. Go check out all the fun events going on there. And we will get in. We'll just kind of start to jump into some messages. All right. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop it in. Just feeling into the space here. I love that. I'm feeling this. I had some cacao. I have some cacao in here. And it's just very stimulating, opens up the heart. It's a warm drink, so who doesn't like a warm drink, right? It's finally cooling down here where I'm at, but so I'm just tapping in here. Wow. And it doesn't have to be for you if you're live here with me, but I feel this. Not only is it the cacao, as I'm just tapping into this collective energy here. Come on in, guys. I'm just feeling this warmth in that heart space. So I'm going to get to pull some cards here. Just doing some collective channel messages. And I'm feeling this opening of that heart there. Just this like expansiveness into knowing like who I am. What am I doing here? This card here, love beyond death. Actually, just what's pointing out to me is this kind of like, I don't even know if it's a Merkaba, but it reminds me of a Merkaba, just like looking real quickly. And it's this connection to this light body consciousness, dropping in this higher love. And I know the context too of the card, love beyond death. If you are in the mindset of into, spirituality, if you are in a believing mindset of, that there are mediums out there tapping into loved ones, right? Love continues no matter what the physical body manifests, whether it's, just kind of still in that spirit form, when someone passes over before they incarnate here in their body, right? Love is always there. So I love how it's just kind of connecting into the heart and feeling this space of expansion. So whoever is kind of here or watching this later, I'm just getting this connection on, like, how do I continue to learn how to expand my heart? What does that even mean? I'm hearing, just kind of questioning in, what does it mean to be connected to that heart? So from my belief and my understanding and my healing journey, and just kind of just my journey in general, I've learned that where we sometimes connect to other people's belief systems, right? And not our true self. So if someone, I'm just hearing, like, if someone had any type of like emotional abandonment they pass down to their family, and it goes down generational trauma, right? There are mindsets here that just continue to pass down, that that innately become ours unconsciously, right? So, how do we unwire and unyield all of those aspects that aren't us? So, we start to pull out those mindsets and those belief systems. And anytime we have something that is negative, right, we go and we look at, is this really truly us? Like, is this true? First of all, which I can probably say, probably not. It's probably not true. So, how do we unwire and unpack and then allow that heart space to just flow, right? Just allow this infinite flow of unconditional love back and forth, right? So, I'm not sure if that's resonating with anyone, but so far that's where the cards are flowing. So, I'm going to pull another card here. And feel free to drop in a hello in the chat there. Hit that like button if you are liking what you are seeing, or if you're not sure yet, you just kind of joined. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. So, technologies of love. I love the theme of love. Sometimes you can't make it up. There's actually a lot of codes in this card as well. That's why I'm kind of holding it up here. So you might see my face a little bit, but just visualize that card there. And actually, here is this, I believe it is the tree of life. It's this interconnectedness, is all I know. There's this interconnectedness of everyone from what I've stepped into, and how I understand now, how I perceive and understand the world, this interconnectedness and this connection of love, right? Technologies of love, right? When we're looking at as we're all one, right? When you look at humanity and just this movement forward, and then just this understanding of how we all have pieces within it, but also at the same time, the the message that wants to come through, the biggest way that I'm making an impact in this present moment, right here, right? I'm not saying like tomorrow or whatever, is being present with my thoughts, being present with understanding who I truly am, and knowing that that is love. That is unconditional love and light, and embodying that in this present moment. And that's how we can make an impact at this moment. Because when we are making decisions from this present moment, and not from fear or lack or, that trauma that happened, that emotional abandonment, if I'm making it here and now, that's going to be very impactful. If I'm making a decision based on, there's this fear, there's doubt, there's a fear of failure because I've lost so many things in life, so I don't want to lose success, right? And so if I'm making decisions from there, that decision is most likely going to show up as pause, or I rearrange things, or I just don't do anything, or may seem or appear lack of motivation because there's a lot of energy just kind of moving through. So we want to look at present moment, right? And where that love flows in, right? This technology of love. Um, I'm also just counting here as well. There's like 7 rings of light just showing up in this card here. Okay. And so that to me, there's this huge representation of our energy centers or what wants to come through with our chakras and just these energy centers flowing as well, all in tangent and balance, all interconnected as well as interconnected with everyone else. But it, right, that harmony, going back to this harmony within, is something that's important for us to be able to channel out into the work that we're doing. Right, this harmony, the more that I show up in and I see this harmony within myself and I believe it, the more that I show up that way in projects or things that I'm manifesting out into the universe. So just kind of remember this, the way that you're showing up internally is going to impact how what happens in your external reality, right? Inwards to external to outward. So if that's kind of making sense there, and I'm just going to flow into a few other cards here. Feel free to drop a note in the chat. I don't know if anyone here is new. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that like button. As I just sip on my cacao over here, guys. Welcome to this Tuesday evening. Okay, see, lots of love. Great. Well, if you do, feel free to give the channel subscribe. They're sending out that love and that energy exchange. Yeah, I love that. Let me pull a few other cards here. Just going in the flow here. Call me. I don't know if that's your name, or I don't know if you meant something else. All right, so just in the flow here, guys. Oh, okay, this just kind of flew out over here. And pattern breaker, again, just so much. So these cards are definitely a higher frequency, so many codes in them, in activation. So if you kind of feel as you are receiving any messages here, if you're feeling anything, like for me, I'm feeling it in my crown chakra area. So feel free to kind of put your focus and your attention on that area there. And here it's pattern breaker. Okay. So pattern breaker, what does that mean? Right? Where are we? How do we go to and step up into the next level? How do we take a look at ourselves basically and say what is not serving us so that I can leave that behind and fully step into who I am? And what does that mean? Who am I really? Stepping into this world, I'm just someone over here doing my thing, right? Am I making really an impact? So I'll ask you this. When you step into a space and even if you give someone a hello, right? And you just kind of say hello, right? That ripple out there is changing the world, right? How people then perceiving you. It doesn't really matter, but now that they're in this space of like abundance of joy, potentially, right? This ripple out. And it all comes from starting from within, right? How do we look at what we are currently doing and change things? So say if I'm having a bad day, I'm just having, a lot of things happen. I could be in a space of anxiety. I could be in a space of like just everything everywhere. And that could be maybe why I was picking up a little bit of just an area of that crown chakra, just this feeling of a lot going on in my mind. And so just take a moment to be present. So I come from a space where I had PTSD for quite a bit of time in a fight or flight moment. And I didn't know that my nervous system was constantly inflamed until I started having panic attacks, until a lot of things started happening. So I started to then look at a lot of things and heal and recover from that, and eventually all the symptoms diminish and go away, and the flashbacks go away. And now it's just about, how do I change and redirect my energy in the present moment? Now I have to get present. Now I have to then eventually even reset maybe my nervous system, which I love mindfulness techniques. If you have not experienced any mindfulness techniques, and maybe that's why this is coming through here, you can get present within all of your senses, um, your taste, your smell, what are you hearing, what are you feeling? Like all of those senses will help you get into the present moment. Or you can do some box breathing. So this is coming through for someone for some reason. And basically you can take like a 4-4-4-4. So you breathe in, for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold it 4 seconds. Okay, so breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4 seconds. Breathe out for 4 seconds. And hold it for 4 seconds. And you do that on repeat, guys. And that's how you can reset that nervous system so that you can, in a way as well, break the patterns, right? So I have the cards here, and I have just information coming through and just feeling into like the collective here. And it's all about, how do we feel good about ourselves? How do we switch up the energy so that we are doing something different? We're mindful. We're mindful of this present moment. And sometimes our body has not processed emotions. So for me, I had all these repressed emotions, and I hadn't dealt with a lot of things. So now, when I kind of was recovering from PTSD, I realized, oh, there's a lot of things that are stored in my body. Our body literally stores all of these things. So when you start to then breathe, you get in this present moment. And then you allow the emotions to kind of move through, and your body to autonomously do what it naturally needs to do. Most of the time, we were taught to do something different here. And this was totally something, I don't know why this may be coming up here, but, when we kind of start to step into this resetting of our nervous system, we can embody the truth, right? And so sometimes what we think our truth is and perception is very different. So if I experienced something when I was younger and I was like, oh, okay, I repressed and I held all that away. Now I may start to think today that is true, right? I may start to think, okay, this person telling me something about myself, maybe someone saying, you're never going to make it. You're never going to be amount to anything, right? And not calling anyone out specifically, but this is coming up for a reason. But if these things were kind of came out when you were younger, and now maybe we held emotions back, right? We have all these emotions in our body. And now today, that becomes maybe like an unconscious reaction. Now I'm unconsciously reacting from this space of fear, right? This fear, whatever the emotions are tied to that, are in my body. So resetting and just getting in this body is really important for moving forward. So that was that. I know that was a kind of a long message coming through. I'm so glad that you subscribed there. Awesome. I appreciate it. I know that you were having a couple of messages in here. And so thank you. English here. This is all in English. So I don't know if their subtitles are converting over for you, Onyx, there. But yeah. And hopefully you have been Yeah, take care there. Just flowing in some more messages as you guys come in. If you're new to the channel or my page, I'm just doing some channeled messages in here. Feel free to type something in the chat. And if you have a question in mind, if you're looking for guidance, I'm actually doing free, just for energy exchange, of subscribing to my channel, giving me a follow. And by doing that, I can give some guidance here. So if you have a question, drop it in. If not, I'm just going to keep going with the flow here and work into some collective channeled messages here. Yeah, if you have a question, feel free to pop it in for, whatever you're looking for. So I don't know if that's what you meant there. I have one. I don't know if you meant I have a question. What is the website? Oh, okay. Yeah, hold on. Let me just pop this here. Yeah, Iman, I will get to you in 1 second. If you can hit that subscribe button there, so just as an energy exchange. But you, Onyx, you want to know what is the website. So I want to make sure this is what you're referring to. So I have my website here, myawakeningwithin.com. So if you are going to leave and you want to go on there, you can subscribe to my newsletter. And I just want to make sure that was your question. I do personal one-on-one Akashic sessions. And so it'd be actually very different than what is here. I'm not really sure what you're saying there, Onyx. So English or football cake? Okay, I'm not sure. So I'm going to move on here to Iman. Let me know if you're still there, Iman, and hopefully you subscribe there just to kind of support the channel as that energy exchange there. And yeah, I will go into your work. Just hit a yes if you're still here, Iman. Just hit a quick yes. So I just kind of clear out some of the energy here. Awesome. Just waiting for that response there. It's a beautiful Tuesday. All right, Iman. All right. Bye, Onks Queen. It's been lovely. Iman, just hit that yes if you're here. I wanted to tap in to start your reading for you. But I don't want to do it if you have left. So, all right. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So you want to ask about your work. Perfect. All right, Iman, for Iman's high is good. And so as I say a lot of things here. Oh, thank you, Onks. Appreciate it. So Iman, I say a lot of things at a time. So if I ask you a question and you feel like you do want to answer, you can say yes and I say something about like a tree or something, and I say a couple things or no, right? Because I say so much. So if someone just says yes, I don't know what they're referring to because I might have said that 2 minutes ago. So, I'm not sure so I just heard the word contractor. So I don't know if you are a contractor or you're looking for a contractor job or a contract job. So I'm hearing those words there. And okay. I am hearing about an opportunity for you. It feels like you stepping out of your comfort zone with work. Like I feel like this is what I've been doing and this feels safe is like the words that I'm hearing. And I have maybe some thoughts. Either I feel like what I'm doing does not feel, it feels like I'm starting to question it, or maybe doesn't feel aligned. And maybe I'm starting to think, do I go off and do something else? I also feel like there might be some, a little bit of like mental health around maybe worries with work as well. Um, Maybe it kind of feels like either you feel like you're being judged or like you're judging yourself. I'm kind of hearing that word there. And the reason why that wants to come through is there's a lot connected to that worry there. So let me see here. Let me just go on. Okay, so I'm also sending energy as I'm doing this reading as well. Yeah, because it just there's a lot in that crown chakra area, and it could even just be like I don't know if you do this in any capacity as well, if you do any like channeling or working with or you do any readings or things like that, because I feel this like a bit of worry, but I also feel this like opening up of this channel here. So it just feels like you're being really, really guided here. So let me pull a few cards here. All right. So, okay. So how about I pull a couple cards here. So burst of magic. It really feels connected to like your connection. So whether you consider yourself intuitive, sometimes we don't consider ourselves intuitive, but if you do or don't, like your connection and what you're channeling through and what you're bringing through is completely, there's such a connection dropping in very, very deeply there. And I feel it getting stronger. So if there's kind of like, there could be maybe even doubt connected to that sometimes on like, where is this information coming from? I just feel like I'm being pulled in a lot of different directions, and how do I ground that energy down? Right. So that's a big thing coming through for work specifically. I mean, this is such an amazing card to get. Roots of abundance. Okay. And this is coming in a strong spot. The thing is that you are going to be prosperous and abundant when you are in alignment. And I feel like whatever you have just come from, if you're kind of in a pause or like a transition or kind of waiting area, this is a time to really construct like how do you really visualize going forward, because when you visualize it and you work on going after that, I really feel that's where this abundance is connecting to. It's connecting to and you following this alignment. The thing that I'm hearing now is, so this is imperfect harmony. It feels like either what you were doing, and I keep saying that, so I don't know if you've been in kind of like a transition. It feels like what you were doing is like, it feels like it's not in harmony, right? So imperfect harmony, right? But that's coming up as an opportunity. So that's why going forward, right, when you are bringing in that opportunity, I see that coming in. I'm also hearing 3 months. Are you currently working there, Iman? I know I said a lot, and I didn't see any response to any of that, which is totally fine. You know, you can be just kind of absorbing. But are you currently working? Because it just feels like 3 months waiting for something. Like I'm waiting and waiting for something with work. So I don't know if that's what you have been doing and like there's X amount of time that you've been waiting for, but it feels like either 3 months from now or like 3 months total. Okay, but you're not happy there. Okay. Okay, it feels like you're like within 3 months you're going to be doing something. I thank you for clarifying that. Because I like to kind of follow the energy as like um yeah, okay. I heard business owner before. I know I had like contractor and a lot of that, but that is what I feel like within 3 months, like that is going to completely pick up, but you're going to have Yeah, you're gonna have your chronic illness gets in the way of do you do anything with Amazon? I just heard Amazon. Um, do you do any drop shipping? Amazon? Um it's coming in, so it feels like there's something connected to that there. Um, and what I'm hearing as well is like it really feels like you can like you're gonna get to a point where you can delineate and like hire on the right people, even if it's like I just heard like virtual assistant to kind of help with some things so that it's not all on you, right? So and that's some of the things like getting in place now, some of the automations or like figuring out how things can become more efficient now while you have this job that's also helping to supplement the side business. Like it's just everything's like in tangent. Um, you've been asked to do that. You've been asked to do Amazon drop shipping. Is that it or Amazon? Um, yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna pull some cards on that too. So because you said you asked to do that. So I'm gonna pull it on Amazon here, like that. And if they're both the same, then that works. So let me just pull cards here on Amazon for Iman's highest good. Okay. Let me just pull cards here. Okay. So okay, Amazon product reviews. That's why I was hearing Amazon. Cool. Okay, and they would be in it. I heard drop shipping, but yeah. So here's the cards that are coming through here. All right, you have shining through. You have great big love. Okay, it really feels like when you're doing like connected to products that you are excited about, like those are the things where those reviews really take off because people can see your authenticity there. And I feel like you are someone who's authenticity. I don't know if you do anything on TikTok, but that just popped in too. So I just heard like TikTok, YouTube. Those are the two platforms popping in. So the challenge and opportunity here is like when you're not doing some of the products that when you're not doing things that you're aligned with, you're going to be like, is this really for me? Right? Like that might be kind of where you're at, where you're like, I don't really know if I want to do that. But when you are investing time into like things that you're really excited about, like that's the stuff that's going to take off. And when you're, if you're, reviewing socks, say for example, if you're just like, oh, I'm just going to like review these socks because, that's what maybe is trending, and definitely not trending. I just feel like kind of a low. I feel like a lull with that. And I feel like things not taking off as much. So that's what I'm seeing is like really take a look at that and also take a look at your side business. What I'm hearing is what could be not saying it sounds like it's taking off, which is awesome, but what could be in the way is like doubt and judgment. Like, is this really, can I really make a living off of this? Is that like real? Are people gonna like judge me? Is this like, is this a full-time thing? And like I'm just hearing like absolutely like you doing things that you're excited about and enjoy, like it may feel like people may judge you or you may be judging yourself because it's not a conventional traditional job, but who doesn't want to have fun while they work, right? So I'm just gonna pull one more card there for you. And yeah, let me see here. Whew. I'm feeling that crown chakra just settle just a little bit. And I don't know if that's connecting to the and you mentioned there's a chronic illness. And I don't know if there's anything that's kind of connected to the energy centers here and that's connected to the chronic illness, but at least that wants to come through is Well, I'm just hearing that settle. So here's just the last card for you, endless possibilities. And this is relating to this side business. It is completely endless and infinite when you put your effort into it and when you're doing things that you're excited about. So just and just remember that you're like, you can, yeah, they keep saying you can hire other people, like whether it's someone that might help you with your social media to kind of like structure that, or like help you, like I'm just hearing virtual assistant, so I don't really know what that kind of entails. um yeah, there's stuff there that you can get support. You just, it's just kind of asking. So so hopefully that helps there, Iman. Thank you for subscribing there. Feel free to also check out, that was a mini, just kind of a mini reading there, but I do a lot of other things. So feel free to check out, I do personal one-on-one sessions, and this is for just anyone else here that's here as well. I do personal one-on-one Akashic enlightenment sessions, energy healing, and I also do some group stuff as well. I have, if you are interested, or if anyone's interested here, guys, I have a free manifesting workshop coming up next Tuesday. So it's free. All you do is you go to my site, and it's under, well, I know it's under the events section under, in my site, myawakeningwithin.com, and it's like a free energy transmission and just channeled messages about manifesting. And so it's totally free to sign up. You just kind of subscribe there, or like, add your name to my newsletter, and you can join live next Tuesday. So that's for anyone that's there, as well as I do Akashic. I have an event starting next Wednesday, or sorry, Thursday. It's a Akashic chakra activation series. And so that's working with our chakras. Okay. So we all have this innate ability to tap into what our body is saying, what is the energy centers, and what is the energy telling us. So if we are feeling anything in our body, and that might have been why some of the messages were coming in before on this, like these emotions in the body, right? There are things that sometimes we suppress in, and so our energy centers want to talk to us. They want to tell us what is it that we're holding in that we can release. So it's allowing each energy center to just unfold, allow that to come out with higher knowledge as channeled messages, as well as there's a mini energy healing in there as well. So that's not free. That's an activation series, but it's a group activation series. So it's some fun stuff there. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm glad that that helped Iman. Yeah. So is anyone, I'm just gonna pull a couple cards unless anyone has any other questions here. Feel free to subscribe. Hit that like button, guys. If you are new here, I'm just pulling the cards up. Yeah, if you're new here, hit that subscribe and follow. And I'm just doing, if anyone's got any guided questions, if I have not read you in the last 2 weeks or so, I'd love anyone new coming up here. And I do that because, right, we have to integrate the knowledge. Like sometimes we may get messages and we have to kind of sit with it. So just, yeah, anyone that's new here, feel free to drop, or if you just have like a general question. I'm just channeling here. So if you're just like, how do I connect more with my guides? Right. I do a lot of teaching with intuition and mediumship development. I don't have anything online yet, but I have a lot of potential stuff coming up. So definitely get on my newsletter if you're interested. If not, I'm just going to pull some cards here on this Tuesday. I'm just going to take a sip as I'm just clearing out the energy here. And basically, guys, what we do is when you are working with people and your own energy, you just set an intention of of moving energy out, right? If you are an empath, so sometimes people don't realize that they're empath and that they are, I want to say, the words sometimes may be like, oh, you take on someone else's energy, but from my understanding is that someone else can kind of activate our field by like things that they're going through, and we may feel that and pick up on that, and our body wants to speak. So we could feel things in our body. Like for me, I used to have back problems, and all of that went away after I started developing my intuition, my psychic and mediumship abilities. And after I started doing that, I realized my first reading, and I love telling this story. So if anyone's watched this before, and I retell an old story, but I just can't get over my first reading. I step in and I feel my wrist hurting really bad. And so I start talking about that. I say, hey, my wrist is hurting. And I'm kind of going on about that. And so the lady says, oh, yeah, my wrist is hurting today. And so I realized that there are some energies that we can pick up on, and our body can pick up on that has messages with it. And so as soon as I started my healing journey and I started releasing what is not mine, all of the pains in my body went away. It's just moving through that energy and understanding that it's, whatever purpose it served, to shine this light on some of the shadows that I was just holding in, and just stepping into who I truly am outside of those shadows, right? Maybe I put the shadows there, or when I say shadows, I say anything I don't want to deal with. Right. Anything that I suppressed, anything that was put into the unconscious, subconscious mind. Right. So now, some people call it shadow work. And so, they're shadows, right? Or aspects that are not, that are kind of put away. So when we shine that light, when we decide to consciously now start to work on some of those things, we can start to release them. And you don't need to work with someone else to do this, right? You can do this all on your own. I help people and I help facilitate support in many manners, especially with a lot of this knowledge, but it's all about empowering other people to see the light that they truly are, right? That is like, if I was to put in a box, and like what I do is helping people to see the light that they truly are. It's all of the belief systems in between that we hear from other people or society or culture that kind of gets in that way, of us really truly seeing who we are. And so sometimes you just kind of need like a little lasso to like get out and move forward in a different direction. So if you're and it's interesting, if you're feeling pain in your body or things like that, and you're just like, I don't know where it's coming from, or maybe you assume where it's coming from too, always look at, always go to your doctor. But if you're just like, I've had people come to me and they're like, no one can figure out what's wrong with me. And I'll tap into the physical body, and usually people don't tell me what's wrong with them, so that things transpire naturally, right? And just, we're in that space of safetyness. And I'll see the emotional body, and I'll see the physical body, and I'll see the emotional, causal, karmic, spiritual bodies, all of the energy bodies, of which we hold all of this energy in. And so when you start to tap in deeper into like the unconscious mind, into the subconscious, into other lifetimes, or if you just focus on this lifetime, you start to move this energy in your body that's been there. So for some reason, this is coming up today. But if, the way that I've learned it is that when a lot of people have physical stuff going in their bodies, it's just for entertainment purposes only, right? But from the sessions that I've learned, that Okay, there's something physical. There's actually physical pain in the shoulders and the neck and stuff like that, right? So think of just stress. A lot of people, they'll get stress, they'll get it on their shoulders, they'll get it their neck and their spine. And I feel that right now. And so I don't know if that is resonating with anyone. If you're like, hey, like you have the pains in those areas, this message could be for you. But it's just in general, if you're having any other physical stuff going on, but it's like, what pressure are you putting on you that is not your pressure to put, is not for you to put on you? If you're putting pressure on, oh, I gotta do this for this person, this, right? I get it. We do live in a linear time where things have deadlines, but also it is our right to live in a healthy manner and to set boundaries. And so for me, I was the person that was like, I'm going to do everything and get everything done until I physically can't. And so that was part of the back issues. Was all of the pressure, all of this pressure just the weight of the world on my shoulders. All the worries of everyone else. Are they going to be okay? Right. And so all of that put on my shoulders. And so as I started to work through in this journey and I started to realize that I actually physically cannot change the outcome of someone else and how they act and how they believe. Like they have to make that decision from within. And so that weight just lifts, right? The more that you step into that, more that you say that, maybe you don't really believe that initially, but more that you say that, which is, the truth and what we can control, and we can control our mindset and we can control, okay, am I going to decide to worry about this, or am I going to decide to stay present and do the best that I can? Right. So, in my ears rings, I feel like there's someone's got angel guides that are like, hey, this message is for you. If your ear was just ringing, if you're watching this now, or if you're watching this on replay, your angel guides are like, hey, pay attention. So just keep that in mind, right? We're in this world of a lot of external pressure, it feels, but a lot of the times it's us. A lot of the times we're the ones that putting this on us. And if there are a lot of deadlines or a lot of things that are causing like this chronic stress or like this, constant anxiety, there could be an opportunity for boundaries. There could be an opportunity for, is this the right job for you? I was working this corporate 8 to 5, and initially it was like I was working like 60 plus hours, and then I had health, some family health, and then my own health, and I was like, that's not possible. And then I was like, why is it that it has to be an 8 to 5? I don't know where people are located in this area who's watching, but there were a lot of countries that have siestas in the middle of the day, right? Or they have like breaks for tea time or whatever it may be. And they're not working like these 40 hours a week. And so when we start to look at and manifest like our future and how that looks, think about how we can like make passive income or something, right? I make money when I sleep, right? And so I started saying this, and we're gonna get into manifesting now. So I started saying this, and I started to see things popping up in my purview or my head, and like the opportunities started to come to me that were on this. And so I made some decisions based on what feels right on passive income, right? Or even working where I have a goal, on something to make that passive income. So if you're on YouTube, or if you're not, give that YouTube channel a subscribe, My Awakening Within. And if you're kind of just tuning in and you're just listening here, that would be super supportive. If you are liking what I'm saying, I would super appreciate that subscribe there, because that I'm working towards my passive income on YouTube. It's coming. I see it. Yeah, let me pull a card here because I said a lot. I don't know if anyone, I don't know what you guys are feeling, how you are feeling. I'm just channeling here, guys. So if you're just feeling a lot, I'm feeling like buzzing in the third eye area. If you're just feeling any pulsing or just like any of that in the body, just know that you're receiving whatever you need to receive, even if not everything I'm saying makes sense. Or if it makes sense, good, but sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Let me know. Let me know where you guys are from. I have a couple people who are still here. And if you can put the state or you put like the area if you're in the Southwest or whatever. If you're in the US, I'm in the US. If you're not in the US, I always love to know what country because I have all over people that come in. And even if you're not new here, but hit that like button. I'm just going to pull a card here. Do I have a quiet... Libby! I was like, do I have a quiet bunch today? Awesome. Hi. Hello, beautiful. I was like, I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to pull a card. Whoo. Okay, I don't know if anyone's ear is on fire. My ear is literally on fire. Whoo. Let me just tune in here. Okay. Okay. This is for... Okay. They were saying this is for both people who are also watching this on replay. So thank you for watching this. But it like I'm hearing guides come through and are like, you are hearing us, you are doubting it. And it may not sound like what you think that it would sound like. For example, and they're saying it may not even be through through hearing. It might sound like your voice, or even like they're just saying hearing in general, like there are messages that are coming through. Like, I don't know if anyone hears any songs that have meaning at certain times, but they're talking about music here. And like I hear like there's excitement around it, but also at the same time, then I kind of just shove it away. I'm just like that's just a coincidence. And so as this has come up quite a bit recently, so coincidences are... Right. There's like what we attach meaning to coincidences, right? And some people say, oh, there's no coincidences, right? And so tickles on your back today. Oh, yeah. I love that. There is something with coincidences and the meaning that we can attach to it. So like, there's something that's an important message. There's sometimes synchronicities and things that happen, or things that, like, if we want something really bad and like ego gets involved, like maybe there's like I'm not sure the right example here, but we can create meaning behind a coincidence. And that creation of that meaning could be coming from some of that unconscious and subconscious mindset. So I'm not hearing a specific example, but sometimes coincidences, we want to say, hey, this is what this coincidence means, or what the synchronicity means. And it's because, we are trying to validate some of the things that we have not moved through and healed and released. And so our reality now is like showing up in a certain way, but our mindset is still with that old way of being. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, is that, like, don't necessarily use coincidences or synchronicities to then say, validate like this, okay, this means that I should really stay home today. When maybe you staying home may have been out of like fear or doubt, right? So this is just something that's coming up here, guys. So if you're like, all right, I can choose to go out and promote my business today, or maybe I'm going to stay home. And so there's some sort of coincidence or some synchronicity that comes through, and you're like, oh, I look for a sign if to stay home today, and or not. And this comes up and you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually not going to go out then, because this is like validating that. But meanwhile, what was your initial aspect, your initial thought there, your initial unconscious mind saying? Was it really saying that I'm not going out because of fear and worthiness, and I don't want to promote my business because of that? And so now we're using this coincidence and the synchronicity to validate that fear. Right. So that is, I don't know why that's coming through today, but that's something that's like, hey, just keep in mind here, guys, like there's so much room for flexibility and interpretation of coincidences and synchronicities. But just keep in mind, like sometimes we're just in the flow, and sometimes things just have, meaning that we're just in the flow, or sometimes it has a deeper meaning. And when we try to pull stuff out and it feels like we're trying to pull stuff out, that could be an indicator that we're trying to attach a meaning to it. But yeah, just go with the flow there, and allow yourself to not put pressure on yourself. I'm going to pull a card here and have some people coming in and out here. We got YouTube and Facebook. Give me a follow, subscribe to my channel there, guys. If you're liking what you're seeing, if I haven't done a reading for you in a few weeks, drop a comment in. I'm probably going to do one more. If not, then I'm just going to keep going with the flow here. So, all right. Hopefully you guys are having a good Tuesday. I never know what day of the week it is sometimes. Because I have certain days, like my days are not Monday to Friday. It's not like a structure. I have usually like one day during the week off, because I gotta, I like to do stuff. But yeah, we're almost midway to the week. Gosh, I'm getting a lot of messages come through with the heart here. So let's see here. Let me just start to connect in here. So we have our heart. Okay, if you are watching this, just put your hand to your heart. Okay, there's some exercise that wants to come through. We're not going to call it exercise. It's not work here. It's not work. We're just going to be in the flow. So just let your eyes just kind of soften. You can close them if you want. Just one hand is fine. And there's some energy that wants to come through as well. I'm just hearing a heart activation. So just allow this energy. If you are open to receiving, you don't have to receive. If you're open to receiving, give a yes. You don't have to type it, but just, a verbal yes. And it will just kind of flow to you. Just see some pink and gold energy swirling together, coming from the cosmos. Just moving to that heart. Just know that your feet, if they are on the ground or not, they have just roots going down to the earth, that you are connected and that you are grounded here. Just allow that gold and pink energy to keep flowing through to that heart and that higher heart. This connection to other dimensions and portals, connection to you, to your truth, to this present moment. And just feel that hand on that heart. Just feel that beat. Just take a few breaths here of release. So breathe in, receiving unconditional love. Breathe out whatever's in your way of that. Breathe in this unconditional love. Breathe out whatever's in the way of that. And breathe in again. That unconditional love. Yes, and breathe out, side out. Don't worry, I can't hear you. All right. And just feel, just coming back to the room. Slowly. Come on back. Whew. Come on back to your body, to the room. Feel free to type in the chat however you're feeling, or hit that like button. Hit the like button there and just hit that support there. I don't know if anyone's hands were on fire. There was a reason why, if you put your hand on your heart, that you would feel the warmth or heat of that heart activation and that receiving of it. And there's a message that's here as well. But feel free to type in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling, or if your hand was on fire or warm. I'm not saying on fire like a bad thing, but there's a big download that came through. So I'm kind of actually processing it. So let me just see what wants to come through here for you guys. So there's a message here about receiving, and it's receiving in many capacities. And so receiving love, receiving abundance, prosperity, like all of these aspects of receiving. And it's like, what I'm hearing, this and it could be here, whoever's watching, right? This connection to worthiness and like, okay, am I worthy of like treating myself to this thing? Am I worthy of doing this or this? A little bit too, what I'm hearing of like lack mindset. So even if we're in a little bit of a, say if there's any like budget constraints at this point in time, I like to be mindful of the words, right? So if you are in a space of like, I'm gonna like watch what I'm spending, there's still an opportunity to look at your relationship with money as like an energy exchange, and to look at like not as like money in an aspect of survival of like, I need money to survive and like pay the rent and pay the bills. And there's so many things that are like, I guess you can say true in that, but there's also like an aspect of, now I'm just using this energy to like survive, where like it's more about thriving, right? How do we step into this thriving era, and how do we like really embody this abundance, right? And so when we start to look at even a little bit, right? Even if you were like, I want this like candy bar. I don't know if that's not a good example. Yogurt, frozen yogurt, froyo. Let's talk about froyo. If I want, maybe I want to go look at getting myself some froyo. Go get yourself a $2 cup of froyo. It's probably not going to break the bank, but it's when you go to kind of treat yourself in this capacity, be very present with it. Be present with, thank you, I'm receiving this. Thank you, money. I'm receiving this for me. I deserve this. I'm worthy of this, right? We're changing this receiving, this way of receiving. And this actually ties into a bit about my manifesting. I have a free manifesting workshop next Tuesday. So feel free to check that out on myawakeningwithin.com. And under the events section in my website, it'll be, I think it's like one of the first ones at the top. If it's not, but it's like the first or second one at the top, and it's completely free to sign up, right? You don't do anything. You don't have any loss there. But when you do sign up, you can, if you do subscribe, if you end up missing it, you can get the recording there. This way there'll be like an energy transmission to help you kind of release. Maybe there's like a certain thing in mind that you're like, that's in the way of receiving. I feel like this is going to be a big theme for that Tuesday. And maybe that's why a little bit of that was coming up here. But it's all about being in this present moment and allowing myself to also receive for myself, fill my cup up high so that I can give from an overflown cup. If we are giving when we are at the bottom of our cup, if we are just completely drained, we are doing all these things for other people and we don't take time for ourselves, and now we're at the bottom of this cup. It's like an imaginary cup. So we're at the bottom of this cup, right? And now we are just giving every last bit there. We're not giving from this overflow. We're giving from this space here. Now we're in lack. We're in like, oh no, I'm in survival mode. And then we can have like disharmony in the body. We can have, right, disharmony that may create disease, right? Stress, like chronic stress, like all of these things. So we have our cup, right? And our cup is completely like overflown. And we do for us, whatever that is, we should have something for ourselves every day. I don't know if that feels like that's a tall ask, but we deserve it. And if we don't, no one else is going to give it to us, right? So we are like, whatever that looks like, but I would say something that's more self-care. So I don't know if there's anyone here that like, it's like, oh, this is my time for myself. And you may go on social media. There's nothing bad, but what I'm hearing someone's guides come through is like, hey, like time for you, not for you and someone else's energy, but for you. Like maybe that could even mean sipping some cacao, right? Or whatever, cocoa or whatever, tea, and just being very present with that, watching the sunset, watching the sunrise, doing a little bit of flow yoga, just maybe sitting and meditating, maybe drawing or painting or crafting. There are things that then we start to just fill up our cup, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. And now we have received, and that abundance overflows so much. So we start to become and act from that mindset of overflow. And now we are in a space of, we are like, our capacity or what we are giving is actually that much more. So that ripple effect is much more than we think. Because when we give from a space of lack, it's like the bottom of the barrel, and we're just trying to stretch to make it by. And what we're actually giving in our capacity to that person, maybe it's like helping someone, it's coming from a space of lack. Right. So just keep that in mind. So I don't know who that is for here, and if that kind of resonates with anyone here. But feel free to hit that like button there, guys. If you're new, hit that follow and that subscribe button on YouTube if you're on YouTube right now. And I'm going to throw one or two more cards out and see if there's any other messages. But thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I know sometimes it's like a really quiet crowd, and sometimes it's, much more. I had had someone who was typing it in quite a bit before. They kept saying, "I love you," and I'm like, "Okay, I love you." And it was good, but, sometimes we're just here to be, and that's all I ask of you guys. Um, alright. Oops, I just had this. Woo! Rising inner strength. Okay. Rising inner strength. Whew, gosh. This is powerful. Okay, there's a connection here to Egypt with and the message is coming through for whoever it is. So if you feel really big connection to Egypt, there's a really not only is this rising inner strength related to like what you are doing internally and you manifesting and unveiling and kind of working on yourself, but there's something with Egypt that's coming through, whether you're feeling called and pulled to go to Egypt or to learn about Egypt and research. I'm hearing about your dreams, so if you're not remembering your dreams, please get a dream journal. Get something where you can like start to document your dreams or set an intention before you go to bed and start to say, hey, like I'm gonna document this. I want to remember my dreams, and I have a feeling either you're gonna remember just some random knowledge or you're just going to remember like things that kind of remind you of Egypt, or you're gonna start having more of Egypt pop up for you and like kind of random things. And I'm hearing about someone taking a trip to Egypt too. Not only just myself, because I'm going to Egypt for sure, but there's someone here, or if not all we're all going. But I feel like there's also people who have been asking to either travel more or like just specifically go to more spiritual places. And I'm like hearing yes, like yes, I see you in that space. I see like I don't even know what it's called. But they're showing all this stuff that reminds me of Egypt. And I'm just seeing this like this face. I don't know what it's called. This face with the yeah, I'm not going to try to explain it here. But keep that in mind. Pull in that energy to help you kind of like manifest and bring in higher knowledge, right? Let me see what else is here too. One more card here, guys. And yeah, wow. This feels really good, this energy. Thank you for whoever that is, because there were some codes coming through. So if you stay through that, just give it a few more moments here while that energy just settles. And one more, unique well-being. Yeah. I'm just hearing like you're a superstar, like time to step into that knowing, whether you've kind of been making a couple steps there, like now is time for you to be like, all right, like what you are bringing and offering to the world is unique, and stepping to that empowerment there. Don't wait for someone else to tell you. You own it. Like you own that beauty and that inner beauty. So yeah, I love that. Wow, that's really powerful. If you guys stayed, feel free. I'll just pop up my website here, myawakeningwithin.com. Check out my website. I do so I'm what's in my Akashic right now. I do Akashic Enlightenment sessions. It includes your Akashic records and the Book of Truth. So it's a higher density, a higher vibration, and it in channel in working with the laws of the universe, working in a higher knowledge and higher field. And so I do personal one-on-ones. So if anything here was resonating with you, feel free to check that out. But if you're like you're not sure yet, feel free to check out, I have a free manifesting workshop next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. So 11 a.m. Pacific time. And so feel free to just sign up for that, totally free. Even if you can't make it, when you subscribe, I send out the replay. So you'll get that. And, why not learn a little bit more on manifesting for the holidays, right? And I also have this new class that is coming up next, starting on Thursdays, where it's within the Akashic, and we do chakra activations within all the 7 main chakras in the body, including your, as well, in addition to your higher heart and your soul star, as well as your earth star, which are higher transpersonal chakras. And this is working with channeled messages, working with your unconscious and subconscious mind. What is in the body? What does your body want to say? How do we work and balance these chakras? As well as how do we get a deeper knowing and understanding to what is stored in there, what wants to come up for the collective, allowing that to come up and then be released, right? Having that deeper understanding of what's in there helps you with working with other people, whether you do this for a living, whether you do this for yourself and you like understand people more, or you have clients, and it allows you to see that deeper knowing within you, which you then see that deeper knowing within others. So feel free to check that out under myawakeningwithin.com, and it's under the training section there. So yeah, I was definitely sent to hear some things. Thank you. Yeah, you recently came into and determined to go to India. So kind of close. Yeah. I mean, you definitely were sent to hear some things. I do believe that, Shannon. I do believe, because it was like a, hey, you are going on these. Now I said Egypt because they were showing that, but it was like they were just like, you are going to visit these sites, like whatever spiritual sites. To me, Egypt is something that is like, that's a space that I'm going, that's a sacred space, right? But it's just a representation of like us manifesting and doing that. So yeah, no, so it doesn't necessarily matter where, it just matters what resonates with you. So I am loving that resonated with you. Feel free to check out feel free to check out my site, get subscribed there so you get some of the free stuff going on. I also do just touch on it really quick, aquamarine light being attunements starting in January. I do group attunements where they are sometimes we could kind of resist a lot of things that happen to us. And so having these attunements it works with your light body consciousness. So it works with your light body and helping us connect to who we truly are, our soul, right? How do we drop in to understand who we truly are and feeling in alignment? And so these attunements have helped me kind of ride more with the wave than resist, where I can see things happening more for me than like to me. And so if you're new here, there might be some things there, but feel free to check out all of those things. And thank you guys for tuning in.